Top of the morning to you, soldiers of the zombie apocalypse. Got a bunch of things have happened, like always in this game. It seems like non-stop chaos. I went to do the Retired World Series, and my theory of I'm going to go on in here in the debriefing room, in the briefing room. My sit here and take a look at the fire while we're chatting. My wish is to do a totally a world without any modding, without any unlocking God mode and all that stuff, while doing these Retired World Series. Not my standard seasons, but just this Retired World. I really intended to do this as the exact same as any other world, but without zombies, and that would be the only difference. Unfortunately, the nerfing of the maps have made it almost impossible to do that, because the terrain, the topo in these maps is just horrible. I get stuck in corners. I mean, it's ridiculously bad. Now, I can still do what I want to do on these maps, but I just can't depend on riding the mini bike around and that type of deal all the time. A lot of this stuff I'll be able to do just out here in my front yard, but as far as like doing the Biomes series, I had to travel around. First of all, I didn't even know where I could find a good Wasteland biome that would fit my needs. I knew where there's a Wasteland biome, but not one to fit my needs. So the first night, what I did is I drove my mini bike around and dodging various terrain glitches and going around, going through, going over, and eventually I landed up running off a cliff into the water, and I lost my mini bike. So I landed up just killing myself just to get back to the base. I changed my drop settings on my drop upon death to only tool belt. And then I killed myself. So everything I had in my inventory stayed in there. Then I tried it a little bit again on another map, and it was the same story, just running into hills, running into things. So I just decided, look, man, all of the time I'm looking for the Wasteland biome that has everything that I wanted in it, and I could not find it on the mini bike. So, and add to that dodging the terrain. So I said, well, we're going to go ahead and just try to unlock, do the God mode thing and do the fly thing and all that other stuff. Now, I'd never done that before, so I didn't know how to do that. I actually had to go on the internet and research how to unlock it and how to use it. So I did, and I flew around the map a little bit, and I found what I needed to find. So the purity of these Retired World Series is a little bit flawed at the moment, but that's okay because it doesn't really affect anything I'm going to do. I haven't decided what I'm going to do on this from this area pass. You can go into God mode and you can cut it on and off with one click, so it's not that big of a deal. Notice I got a broken leg, and I broke my leg in God mode, which is very strange. I did not think God could actually break his leg, but I did. I was flying, and then I deactivated fly, and I fell and broke my leg twice. So that's lovely. Well, okay, here is what we're going to do today. Today we're going to do the three remaining biomes. The three remaining biomes are going to be the Wasteland biome, which I will tell you now, and you will find out as we go on, is in the early days, the first 3 or 4 days. I'd say 2 to 3 days is one of my favorite biomes to hit up in this game. After that, you don't want to go near it. But and I'll go into that into detail. We will also cover the Forrest biome, which is probably the most popular, and we will head into the radiation biome, and I will show you that. So go ahead and hang on. Like I said, I will be in God mode for it. I will deactivate fly and all the other stuff while I'm doing the presentation. So remember that. But everything else is, no big deal. Up and up. We're moving on. Going to get this the Biome series over with this video, And one thing to remember, and that I don't know if I mentioned the first time, there are sub-biomes within the biome. And what that means is you will have a snow forest biome, or you will have a snow plains biome, or you will have a snow, you know, the one biome will always overtake another biome. You know, snow is always gonna be the factor, and then in the burnt forest you'll have burnt forest, and you'll have burnt plains, and then in the wasteland you will have wasteland plains, which is just plain flat. You will have wasteland forest and cities. So you will see different looks, but what I'm going to try to cover is the basics. Remember, this is the basics to get you through the first 3 or 4 days. This isn't everything you need to know about these biomes to last you throughout, 115 days. You'll figure those parts out. This is just to keep you breathing and keep you moving, and hopefully help you set up a base. Now, once I'm done with the end of this, we will do our typical debriefing at the end. So here we go, and enjoy. I'm out of here and gonna get started. Okay, soldiers of the zombie apocalypse, here we go. This is my #1 favorite biome to start the game in. If I teleport into this biome, the start of the game, I am just thrilled. Why, you may ask? This is probably one of the absolute worst biomes to be in long term. Okay, I'm going to start with the very, very basics. We have everything in this biome to do your missions. We have grass, we have stone all over. Anywhere is stone, the ground is stone. So anywhere you go, you're gonna get the stuff for your mission. There's plenty of trees, so you'll get plenty of stuff for your trees. Grass, trees, wood, stone, everything for your first initial missions. But here's the reason why I like it. You have all this stuff all over the place that's easy looting. Keep something in mind: in your first couple days of 7 days to die, the zombie attacks and whatnot are going to be tampered down. You're not going to have a whole lot. Now, you will have things like the dogs come in and in this biome, and you will have buzzards in this biome. So you do need to be careful about that. But generally, if you find a good city in this biome that has, a number of these small torn down little houses, you're going to find your cooking pot. You're going to find some cans. You're going to find your bottles. You're going to find all that first need stuff here. You may find a grill. You'll find clothes. You'll find food. You'll find all kinds of stuff. So that's why this is my favorite biome to start the game. Now, when I say to start the game, I mean start and get out of it, because you don't want to be here. You don't want to be in the this biome for very long. You just want to be in this biome to do your looting and maybe do your missions. You don't even have to do your little missions here. You can just loot what you can get to and get out of it. Now, actually looks like I've gotten out of the city portion. Now, this is the nerf of this map, and this is, look at that down there. The geography on this map is just, it's totally shot, which I'm gonna go over this time and time again. There's the road way down there. How annoying this is. Okay, anyways, you may go into this terrain where there's no buildings. Then there's not a whole lot of plus to it. If you go into the wasteland, there is wasteland, a lot of wasteland that has no buildings. What you want to get to is the wasteland with the buildings to start the game. And I wouldn't go chase it down necessarily. I wouldn't go looking for it. But if you spawn near it or you run past it in the first couple days, hit up these little POIs, man. Hit up any POI that concentrates on first day survival stuff. First day survival stuff are the things with the kitchen sinks, the things with the stoves, those kind of things. Those are going to have what you need to survive the first few days. Loot this, get out of it. That's all you need to do. Loot what you can and get out. See right here? See all these little buildings right here? There's 3 of them right here. Bottles. Look at that. Look at that. That is premium first day loot. Premium first day loot. You don't want like, a iron pickaxe day one. Yes, it would be nice to have, but that's not going to help you survive. You want food, you want the little stuff. And this biome is very good for that. So, okay, I am going to move on to the next biome. So hang on just a second. Here we are at pretty much everybody's favorite biome for setting down camp. The forest has many good properties about it. The climate is generally mild. It'll go from hot to cold. It will change up a little bit. So it's not perfect, but it's about as good as you can get and about as predictable as you can get. If you get on the edge of the desert, it may get a little hot at times. If you get on the edge of the snow, it may get a little cold at times. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Don't have to worry that much. Obviously, you have an abundance of grass. You have an abundance of rocks. You have an abundance of trees, all which you need to do your first missions. The only drawback of the forest is it doesn't have a whole lot of food sources in it. It will have like here, these are snowberries. The problem with the snowberry is you can only eat a few of them, then you'll get sick. So you can't really survive on snowberries. If you eat one every now and then, that's fine, but it really doesn't do a whole lot for you. It'll basically, snowberries, if you're about to die, maybe down a few snowberries and that's it. But other than that, you don't really want to depend on them. The way you're going to find food in the woodlands or the forest is hunting. You will find deer. You'll find basically any of the animals in the woodlands. You will pretty much find any of the animals in any of the areas. So I don't think there's necessarily a preference on that. What is this? It's kind of weird. But so what I try to do is I try to put my house in the woods, but I put it near other biomes. I don't depend on only the forest biome. So it is the best biome, though, as far as setting a fort down. If your ideal situation would be an area like this, nice and flat, and you just start mining your trees out. That's it. You got all kinds of lumber. You got all kinds of stone. You got all kinds of stuff. Temperatures are good. You're not going to need to bundle up all the time. You're not going to need to strip down all the time. So it's a very good biome for settling down. So it's probably ranks the highest all in all. Now we will go to the next. Last but not least is the radiation zone. The radiation zone, I've honestly have never spent any time in it. When I hit it, I just turn around. It looks a lot like the Wasteland. My guess is it just marks the end of the map, and makes sense. The maps are pretty big, so you don't really need to deal with it. I believe if you have to go through it, you can put the hazmat suit on, and that'll help protect you a little bit. But it never looks really all that enticing, so I never go in it. Now I am in God mode right now. Like I explained at the beginning of the video, I had to get into God mode to find the Wasteland, so I just stayed into it to make this video quicker. But I am actually walking around. I think so. I'm in the radiation zone. If you see, notice right now it says it brought up on the screen that I'm in the radiation zone, and let me head back into it. And because I'm in excuse me, because I'm in God mode, I guess it's not hurting me. See, it says you have entered a deadly radiation zone. We're going to walk into here a little bit and see if it actually gives you anything, if there's anything to... It looks like you have everything basically that maybe a normal zone would have, but my guess is it's either endless this. This would be something that any of the other Let's Players have played into the radiation zone. Is there anything in there worth noting? I don't think there is. Doesn't seem anything special. So, but this is the last of the major zones, the major biomes. There's basically 6 biomes, I believe, and there's kind of some sub biomes in them. There's like the forest snow, the forest or the plains forest kind of deal. There's different sub biomes in the biomes, but basically, I think this will get you through. So, stay out of the radiation zone. It is notable by a couple things. One is the green ground like that. It's kind of nasty. And if you go to your map, it will be red. So stay out of there. Alright, now let's head back to the debrief. Alright, soldiers of the zombie apocalypse. Just got in from the tour, and we covered all 3 biomes that we wanted to cover. And let's go do the debriefing for sure and get this thing over with so we can move on to the next video. Your biomes are one of the most important things in the first few days. Understanding your biomes, understanding the positives and negatives is of utmost importance for you. You don't want to spend too much time in the wrong biome. You do want to be in the right biome. You need to know where to go to get what you want to get. Okay, now here we go. For starters, let's see, we will cover the Wasteland biome. Okay, the Wasteland biome has everything you need to get all your missions done. So there's no big deal there. You have everything you need. You can get your grass, you can get your lumber, you can get your rock, you can get all that. You're perfectly fine. Looting is premium in the Wasteland biomes for the first few days if you have the small POIs. If you got a Wasteland biome without the small POIs, you don't really need to even be in there. But if you do get the ones with the little POIs, those POIs are easy to access. If you got the POIs with the stoves in them and the kitchen segments in them, hit those up, because you're probably going to get a cooking pot. You're probably going to get a little bit of food. You're probably going to get glass jars and tin cans. And you will probably, if you get enough of them, you'll probably get a wrench. Now that goes for the burnt forest of the same type. The burnt forest biomes, which is also a terrible biome, but if you are near those little POIs, you hit them up. Those little POIs are just gifts from the gods at the start of this game. They're easy to get to. In the first day, you're not going to have a whole lot of problems with zombies in those biomes. So hit them up. So basically, my grading of the Wasteland biome is, it's kind of split. If you get the Wasteland biome without the POIs, it's probably about a 2 out of 10. So not very good. You don't need to be in it. Move on. If you get the Wasteland biome with the little POIs, the first 3 to 4 days, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because it has a lot of stuff that you can use in it. And that's really, this rating is actually almost what I should have given the burnt forest biome, almost verbatim. If they don't have the little POIs in them, they're one thing. If they do, they're another. If they do have the little POIs, I would give both of them an 8 out of 10 in the first 3 or 4 days, maybe even up to 7 days, depending. If they don't have the little POIs in them, I would give them about a 2 out of 10. So it's kind of a split thing there. Now you may say all biomes are going to have, different little things. Not necessarily. A lot of biomes are going to have the full house that you have to go into, and you're going to have to spend more time and risk being, jumped from behind by zombies. Okay, the positives of it, we've pretty much already covered the out of the Wasteland. The negatives are the heat. you cannot stay in the wastelands too long. The heat will get you. Just like probably it's not quite as bad as the desert, but it's like the burning forest. You know, you got a little bit longer than, let's say, the desert, but it will get you. So you can only spend a minimum amount of time in there, and you're going to go through a lot of liquids there. The second thing about the wastelands is there's a lot more dangers than your standard area. You got mines, you got dogs, you got buzzards, you got all your typical zombies. Dogs specifically are a terror in the wasteland biomes, so you got to be very careful. If you can get in those wasteland biomes and do your looting in the first day, that's a big benefit because they won't have the dogs that active that early in the game. See, the other negatives is it's not very easy to make a base, even if you wanted to, because you got so much hard ground. In your early days, you're not going to have the tools to get into that. You're probably going to want to be dealing more with some dirt or sand, you know, just to get your tooling up. But I wouldn't make a base in the wasteland no matter what anyways. Okay, now let's go on to the second biome. This is everybody's favorite biome, like I mentioned in the video. The forest biome is probably hands down every Let's Player's favorite biome, and for a good reason. And that reason is loads of wood, loads of stone, loads of dirt, loads of grass, everything you need to get your base going. Also, the temperature in the forest biome is generally pretty moderate. You can do whatever you need to do for long periods of time without the temperature getting you generally. You will hit hot stretches and you will hit cold stretches, so be aware of that. But for the most part, it's pretty good. You can find a lot of flat areas for building your base. You get a lot of different materials, a lot of, you know, iron, nitrate, lead, etc., all in the forest biome is all available underground. Okay, now the negatives of the forest biome. Negatives of the forest biome are primarily that you don't have the type of food like you would have in the desert biome. You have the yucca in the desert biome, which beats everything. You don't have any mass growing stuff in the forest biome that you can just go around and pick. The only thing you can do is deer and stuff like that, which is pretty much covers all the biomes, with the exception of the desert and the plains, which also has the small cactus. So if you're in a forest biome, beware that you're going to have to go find yourself some food at one point. You're not going to be able to just walk out your door and pick yucca. See, and that's really the only negatives that I have on the forest biome. I mean, there's not really a whole lot bad you can say about it, so I'm not going to go too much into trying to make stuff up. Your bases are going to be in the forest biome. Your bases, my preferences, and I will go into this in another video, or I will show the exact positions of good bases. And put your bases near multiple biomes. When I say multiple biomes, I mean the desert and the forest, primarily. The other stuff, who cares? It doesn't matter. There's nothing in the other ones that matter all that much. But always try to find an area close to the desert and close to the forest. That way you can dig your base you can start it in the forest, but you can dig underneath into the desert. Okay, so much for that. The last biome is the nuclear wasteland, the radioactive area, the red part of the map. Don't go in there. There's nothing in there for you. It's basically kind of just marks the edge of the map for the most part. It may be on the interior of the map. I don't know. I've only ran into it on the edges. So I never go in there. I do cover a little bit of it in this while I'm in God mode, and there doesn't seem to be any reason to go in there. There may be a mission or something like that to make you have to go into it just so you have to don the hazmat suit, but I don't know. Like I said, there's probably no reason to ever go on the radioactive wasteland. It does produce, I'm sure, the radioactive zombies and that kind of things, but my bases are always more towards the middle of the map, so I don't really have a whole lot to do with it. Again, there's nothing positive about it, so I can't even say that. It's all negative on the nuclear wasteland. Okay, and I hope that covers everything on the biomes for just for uh, oh, and I did not rate the forest biome. The forest biome would by chance be and I will write it up. We'll put it up there when I go to edit. I will. It is probably a 8 out of 10. Only the lack of real harvestable food brings it down. 8 to maybe 9 out of 10. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button. Please leave some comments and subscribe. And I think my next video in the retired worlds, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I've got 2 or 3 different ones lined up that I want to do. So just keep an eye out and subscribe to the channel, and we're good to go. So peace out, and see you again. Thanks. Bye.